The Least Likely Millionaire, How to Succeed When Everyone Expects You to Fail is a motivational and transformative guide that chronicles the author's journey from being underestimated and overlooked to achieving incredible financial success. The core message of the book is that success does not depend on background, resources, or conventional markers of potential. Instead, it's driven by determination, resilience, and the ability to defy the expectations of others. The author begins by describing their early life, marked by struggles and adversities that seemed to make success nearly impossible. They recount how people around them, family, peers, even educators, believed that their dreams were unrealistic and that failure was inevitable. These negative expectations, instead of discouraging the author, became fuel for their drive to prove everyone wrong. A key theme in the book is the power of self-belief. The author makes it clear that, despite external doubts, the only voice that truly matters is the one inside. They recount moments when they had to trust their gut, even when conventional wisdom was pushing them in another direction. Building self-confidence, the author argues, is not about ignoring the opinions of others, but about maintaining faith in one's own vision and potential, especially when faced with uncertainty. The narrative takes readers through the author's early entrepreneurial ventures, which were fraught with failure. These early mistakes are presented not as signs of inadequacy but as stepping stones toward success. The author emphasizes that the fear of failure is often what holds people back, but those who are willing to fail and learn from it are the ones who ultimately succeed. They stress that persistence in the face of adversity is one of the most critical factors in overcoming life's challenges. The book also addresses the psychological hurdles that many people face when they're told they're unlikely to succeed. Overcoming these doubts is not just a matter of willpower, the author argues, but of creating an environment where growth can thrive. They discuss the importance of surrounding oneself with positive influences, mentors, and people who support your dreams, even if it feels like a rare luxury at times. Another central idea in the book is the necessity of a strong work ethic. While some may be lucky enough to inherit wealth or opportunities, the author stresses that for most people, success comes through hard, consistent work over time. They highlight that achieving significant wealth is rarely a result of a single, lucky break, but rather the accumulation of small wins, made possible by diligence and a refusal to give up. As the narrative unfolds, the author discusses the importance of setting clear goals. They argue that without a vision for the future, it's easy to get lost or distracted by the inevitable obstacles. Writing down goals, staying accountable, and measuring progress are presented as essential practices for anyone looking to achieve financial success. The book places a strong emphasis on clarity, knowing exactly what you want and mapping out how to get there. The author also highlights the role of creativity in entrepreneurship. They share stories about how unconventional solutions to problems became the key to their success. Often, it wasn't following the standard business practices that made the difference, but taking risks and thinking outside the box. Innovation and a willingness to challenge norms are emphasized as necessary ingredients for long-term success in a crowded marketplace. Networking and building relationships are also discussed as vital components of success. The author speaks about how they initially struggled with this, being introverted and unsure of how to make valuable connections. However, over time, they learned that success is rarely a solo endeavor. They advise readers to network strategically, build genuine relationships, and always look for opportunities to learn from others. Financial literacy plays a crucial role in the author's transformation. They stress that understanding money, not just earning it, but managing it, is one of the most important skills for any entrepreneur. The author shares insights on budgeting, investing, and planning for the future, making a compelling case for why financial education is just as essential as any business strategy. They urge readers to develop their financial acumen early, before they start their entrepreneurial journey in earnest. The book also delves into the importance of personal development. The author highlights how their journey to wealth wasn't just about business success but also about developing qualities like patience, emotional intelligence, and resilience. They argue that successful people are often those who have worked on themselves just as much as they have worked on their business. One of the more inspiring aspects of the book is the emphasis on overcoming adversity. The author recounts moments where they were on the brink of giving up, when it felt like everyone was right, and failure was imminent. However, they chose to keep going, and each setback became an opportunity to improve. This part of the book is a powerful reminder that challenges are an inherent part of the process and that perseverance is often the key to turning obstacles into opportunities. The idea of starting where you are is another important theme. The author stresses that no one has to wait for the perfect moment to start pursuing their dreams. Waiting for ideal conditions often leads to inaction, and the reality is that most successful people started with limited resources or support. The author encourages readers to take the first step, no matter how small it may seem, because the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that first move. As the author reaches the pinnacle of their success, they reflect on the real meaning of wealth. While they acknowledge the financial rewards, they emphasize that success is more about freedom to live life on your own terms, to pursue passions, and to give back to others. The book argues that true wealth isn't just about money, but about having the resources to create a positive impact, both for yourself and for the people around you. In the final chapters, the author offers actionable advice for those looking to follow in their footsteps. They suggest that readers should embrace an entrepreneurial mindset, focus on continuous learning, and remain open to changing their strategies as they progress. They also reiterate the importance of resilience and remind readers that setbacks are an essential part of the process, not signs of failure. The book closes with an empowering message: anyone, no matter their background, can rise above expectations and achieve extraordinary success. The author reminds the reader that being underestimated is not a limitation, it's an opportunity to surprise the world. The final call to action is clear: believe in yourself, set goals, and keep going, because success often comes from the least likely places.